There's a screen in there that needs to be cleaned. That can be easily checked. And then the cap just snaps in place. Flat tip screwdriver. This unit measures gallons, and it does it with an integrated meter. Well, guess what? Same clip, locks in place. And then I have the meter on the side of the valve body. So this is an integrated turbine meter, counts gallons. It's a true 1.25 inch meter, so it's not going to drop water pressure or anything by flowing through it. And the thing is, I didn't need to break it away from plumbing. Again, low tool demand, and then I can pull the meter out and check it and make sure that it's spinning freely in the water line. Some of our meters have been pretty fit right into that space, and any bit of grit, any bit of sand that would flow out of it, resin, anything would jam them up. This one's got some space around it, so it's going to be a lot more tolerant of those kinds of things. And again, slips in place, same blue clip. Nice and easy. Those are some of the things that, again, people out in the field, these are the primary places that they're just doing their checks at. Drain line, brine line, easily removed, clip in place, easy to service. Okay? Those are the primary stops. Now, if I need to do a full service, it's 5, 7, 10, 12 years down the road, and I'm there. Let's go ahead. I'm going to take it down to nuts and bolts. All right? I'm going to take this valve down to nuts and bolts, down to the bones, and show you how. Has anybody ever had to take a valve apart before out in the field? Any of y'all? Yeah, have you ever heard stories? Mm-hmm. It can be challenging, right? Particularly some of those commercial valves. It can be a headache. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you how easy it is with it. So first thing I'm going to do is pull off the power head. Two screws hold a clamp in the back that holds down the power head. So I've got two bolts that are in place. Now I'm going to, one more screw on the back that holds the piston rod. So 3 screws. Again, flat tip screwdriver. Power head comes off very easily. Just turns a little bit and pulls off the valve. So that's the power head. Meter cable disconnects from the valve body. You don't have to worry about pulling out the whole meter and everything to get to it. You don't have to disconnect the meter cable from the control. It all comes off easy. 3 screws, a little lean out. And then that's the power head assembly. The power head does also have the controls which snap right in place. I don't need a tool at all to replace those. This is the high-end controller. It's the XTR2 controller.
Do you want to talk about your approach to selling that XTR2 board?
Well, to be fair, it's not my approach, Phil. It was something that was given to me by a dealer, their approach. I don't want to take credit, but I will talk about it. So this is the XTR2 controller. Okay, so it's a touchscreen. This is a 4-hour class all on its own, all the stuff that's in here. Relays, inputs, outputs that can be used. That's deep dive stuff. But here's the thing. It's a touchscreen controller. So the touchscreen controller does a couple things. I think the softener pitch in general, historically, the softener pitch has always been the flip book, come in, sit down, hey, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, and then you go right to Mrs. So-and-so and talk about, oh, your towels are going to be, your hair is going to be great. You're not going to have to clean the showers. Soft water is going to be great for the household. And it's sort of, okay, that's the pitch, historically, right? Old-fashioned. That's why people don't like that stuff. But if I come in and start talking about a touchscreen controller, all of a sudden, whoever's there with their phone, checking emails and stuff goes, oh, wait a second. That's kind of an interesting control. I can tell what flow rate I have instantaneously. I've got some diagnostic information about what my daily usages are. I can tell how much water I've used every day of the week for the last 6 weeks. I can see if I've used more water than I thought I was using. I can see what my peak flow rate was. I can check. I said 7 or 8 before for my house. I can check on the system what it's been. So there's all kinds of intelligence in here, as well as if I'm servicing the equipment, I can also go in there and press the error log and see, if I'm there to fix it, I can see what errors have happened over the last 6 months that have been logged. So there's a lot of intelligence in there. kind of costly. Maybe the person doesn't know what what they want to buy. What's up, Phil?
Definitely talk about the leak detection, the programmable phone numbers for the plumbers.
The locking capabilities, so that way people can't play with it.
The homeowners out, those are benefits that we can.
All right.
And then you can also set it, all of that same stuff in like a one step if you do it on your computer first.
You can preset.
Yeah, you preset it and plug it in and it just does it for you.
Yep.
That's our field program.
Master programming.
Mhm.
So let's get into master programming.
You have to
There
download.
is a lock screen for the master programming. You have to have a code to get in. Okay? 1201 is their code here. Now I'm in master programming. So this is all the steps that they're protected from just Joe, anybody who wants to get in. Joe gets a bad rap. Part of the format screen, part of the master programming, and it loads up when you first plug it in too, is that you can load in your contact information. So the plumber can put in their company name and their company phone number. Their company name and their company phone number is part of the initial load. So it's their contact information. That contact information comes up anytime there's an error, anytime there's an alarm, it comes up on the screen. The homeowner actually has a button on the front too. If they want to find out what that contact information is, there's a little phone receiver they can press and it brings it up as well. And it's attached to that control. There is also a water saver regen setting. What that does is it cuts the rinses and the backwashes down. So it cuts the backwashes in half, and it cuts the rinses down by 60%, time-wise. So it reduces the amount of time that water's going down the drain. Now you don't want that to happen every time, so what it says is, how often do you want it to do a full regen? And you program a frequency in there. So it's like every 5, every 10. You do water savers up in between, and then on that 5th or the 10th regeneration, then it does its full. That's easily programmed inside the format setting. There's other things that are built into this right now that haven't been turned on yet. Things that are coming like chlorine and stuff like that that are also in the controls. So this is going to be the platform that we. There's a leak alert called continuous flow detect that's in the meter setting. So for a homeowner, what this does is if they have a leak in the water treatment system that's going through the softener, if that softener sees continuous flow rate, and you can program an amount of time that it sees it, that it'll bring up an alarm with a tone that'll be generated when it errors out, okay? So let's say, right, anything in the plumbing after the because it's going to be treated water that's going to be leaking. And you can program that detect at a flow rate that you want it to and a time period. How am I going to create this? What does that error sound like? I'm gonna make an alarm. So what I've done, I've taken the optical eye out. This is how it knows that the control's in the proper position. So I'm going to take that out. I'm essentially going to simulate that it can't see where the piston position is. Okay. Now I'm going to try and cycle the system. So now it doesn't have any feedback to know where it's at. So it's running, it's looking for its next position, it has no feedback. So there's the alarm to let you know. So instead of driving that motor, like it gets jammed or if it doesn't see anything, instead of sitting there and driving the motor and burning it out, it stops and says, hey, something's wrong, you need to come and look at this. And that's the alarm that'll come up for a couple different things. Stalled motor, run-on motor, stuff that needs to be paid attention to because it's things like this that are going to happen and the valve's going to be in a cycle step condition and it's going to be running water down the drain.